I've been connecting with a lot of people within my community and also to having more and more clients come forward and wanting to work with me. And there's been some common themes coming up regarding inner union. And I want to talk about this because there's this part of our experience on this path where we feel like we've reached inner union because we feel calm, we're less activated, we're less consumed by the connection. And although all of these are amazing, right? Because these are steps necessary and things that we're here to experience within our connection. But these things aren't necessarily key indicators that you've arrived in an embodied state of inner union. Because honestly, inner union isn't measured by how your nervous system feels at that exact moment. It's about how you show up, about how you start living when life is trying to move through you. And what I've noticed is a lot of feminines are still operating from a state of separation within themselves, where they're separate from this embodied state and they think that they have arrived. And if this is sounding like you, or you're wanting to know how to begin to cultivate inner union, then this video is for you. For those of you that are new here, I want to welcome you. My name is Melissa, and this is a sacredness within you where I've created this page to support feminines who are on the twin flame journey. So you are no longer the version of you that allows breadcrumbing, third party dynamics. You're no longer allowing yourself to operate from old patterns and wounds. Instead, you're becoming the feminine that you're meant to be in this lifetime by taking the necessary steps to create those shifts within you, which then ultimately will create shifts within your connection. And if you're wanting more of that, then make sure you follow, you subscribe, and because I'm bringing out more and more content to help support you because I'm really passionate right now in helping feminines understand how to cultivate inner union within them. And I've been doing a lot of things in the videos that I have on here on YouTube and in TikTok that have been leading up to this point. So I want to talk about two things that are actually happening within the feminines that I've been connecting with and working with when they feel like they've arrived at the state of inner union. And there's usually two different phases that we go through. The first phase is we're in this like nervous system activation phase. And this is usually in the beginning state of our journey where we're obsessively thinking, we're obsessed about the connection, we have anxiety, there's emotional highs and lows within us, within our connection. There's this push and pull dynamic within our connection because there's a push and pull within us, and we are actually in survival. Everything that we do is coming from this state of survival, which then is also linked to our state and understanding of our attachment style. And we start learning that there's patterns within us that we're needing to heal, experiences that we've had that we need to heal that are actually living within our nervous system and also to our subconscious mind. And when we start doing the inner work and we start healing, we start becoming more regulated, which is like the second phase where we are more regulated. And oftentimes, when we get to a little bit more of a regulated state, this is where feminines actually believe that they are embodying their feminine energy and are in a state of inner union. Because what's happening is that they're feeling like, I'm okay now. And they feel like they've detached from the outcome or even surrendered. And if you want to know more about detachment and your attachment, I created a whole video on this. And most of you who have been following me understand that most of us, when we detach from an outcome or detach from our twin flame, is it actually a state of protection. And when you're embodied, you're actually not like you're not protecting yourself. You're open and you're receptive, and you have actually um, surrendered from this place of peace, this place of I'm still within this connection. However, I'm no longer willing to abandon myself for love, abandon myself for fill in the blank. In this regulation phase, there's less urgency as well. And there's more of a calm state within you. And the second phase is often where I see people assume that they've reached inner union. They say that I'm embodying my feminine, but what's actually happening here is the nervous system has just stopped reacting in the same way. And I want you to know that this isn't wrong, that this isn't failure. It's just that you haven't known otherwise until this point. And I really want within the collective to, especially for us feminines, to realize that we don't have to be perfect on this journey, that we don't have to perform things. That's the old way of being. And whatever path we choose, whatever it is that we experience, it is necessary for you because you didn't know otherwise. And many of you are still trying to follow the path of those who came before you. And many of you are here to not follow our path, but take what it is that we've learned and start applying it to your journey so you can start bypassing certain things. And when I say bypassing, it doesn't mean that you're spiritually bypassing. It doesn't mean that you're doing false positivity. You've actually done the inner work and the necessary steps to actually bypass that and go into the actual state that you're wanting to experience. And I talked about this in my video on attachment, detachment, and then sacred detachment, because we all come into this journey at an attached state because that's where we were operating from all of our relationships. And then many people go into the detached phase, which is a form of protection. It's what we've been doing our whole life. We actually remove ourselves from it. And then we come then into the state of what I call sacred detachment. And some of you, you have to go through all three of them. Some of you are here to go from attachment to sacred detachment because you've done the work. And which is why I'm so passionate about telling all of you whatever is resonating with you. It's me speaking your truth, me helping you remember what is your true path on this twin flame journey, because you don't have to navigate it the way that I did. You can literally take what it is that you've learned from me and other teachers that you follow and say, that's really resonating with me. My soul is reminding me that this is my path, this is my truth. And I can take that. I'm giving you permission to do so. And I want all of you that are in my community to reach inner union, to cultivate that in you, within you, sooner than I ever did. Because to me, that means then you're following your true path, because it shouldn't take people years and years and years to do so. So let's talk about what inner union actually is. And I think this is really important because most of you don't know, because you haven't achieved it right before. You've never experienced it in this lifetime. And if you're anything like me, you are the first of everyone that you know to actually experience something like this. So we don't always know until somebody tells us what it is. And so when we think about inner union, it is not a feeling state. Many people think, oh, I'm feeling this way, so I must have achieved inner union. It's actually an embodied relationship between your inner feminine and your inner masculine. And they show up in supportive in how you live. And so I want to break this down into helping you understand what healthy feminine energy looks like. Because healthy feminine energy is about openness, but she has discernment. It doesn't mean that she's open to everything that comes her way. No, she has discernment of it, saying like, nope, this is not for me. Yes, this is for me. She's receptive. She's able to receive. She's emotionally present. She's intuitive. She allows life to move through her. Where the inner masculine, when your inner masculine is healthy, is that there's structure in your life. There's direction, there's consistency, there's leadership, you're being self-led, and there's action within your physical world. Because inner union is when you can take these two aspects within you and work together, and they're no longer in conflict with one another. They're actually cooperating together and working in congruency with one another. And so what I mean by that is like, so for example, I'll share with you a little bit about this. So when I went into business for myself, I left my full-time job and I said, I'm going all in. And I knew that's what I needed to do. And what I started realizing was all the ways that I actually lacked masculine structure in my life. Because many years ago, like I would say 3, 4 years ago, I thought I was, in sacred detachment. I thought I was in inner union, but I was actually detached in a form of protection. And I lacked actually healthy masculine structure. So, which meant my life was flowing everywhere. I required outside resources to create that structure within me. And one of the ways that this showed up was in my relationship with money. And in my relationship with money, I had been conditioned to receive money from outside sources, meaning I had to work for someone else. I wasn't my own source of abundance like I am now. And I started watching how I wasn't able to create that within me when I went full time in my business, when I went all in. And I couldn't understand like why I was able to receive a lot of money working at the jobs that I did. And then I started seeing that I didn't have the structures in place to actually be able to have my feminine feel safe to receive. I had to start learning how to lead myself within my business. When I was a restaurant server or a manager, or even like working direct sales or was a personal trainer, I had already established things that I needed to do because that was in place for me. I had to create all of that within my business, within myself. I had to start being the leader that I was in the outside world for my own personal life. So when you step into your purpose, when you step into other aspects of your journey, of your awakening, it is another portal of expansion for you. It's another layer of initiation. So you get to start seeing how you function and how you operate when you start navigating various stages of your journey. So one of the biggest things that I see as like, and I want to say an opportunity for the feminines is healing is not enough. Healing alone is not enough because many of you are great at understanding your patterns. You feel the stuff, you have processed your triggers, you understand what triggers you, but you miss what is called to go beyond that. So if you want to create shifts within your personal journey, and within your connection, you have to go beyond the healing because healing, yes, helps us create awareness, but embodiment requires change behaviors, which then lead to a change in shifting your actual energy within you and your actual state of being within you. And so this doesn't happen overnight. This takes practice. This takes choosing different ways. It's allowing yourself to get uncomfortable. It's allowing yourself to walk down a new path. So let's talk about some of the missing pieces. And these missing pieces is what actually helps us become embodied action in the 3D. Because inner union requires you to change how you live. It requires you to change how you show up, not just how you feel inside. So I wrote down a list of examples that I want to read off to you. Like these examples include choosing consistency over avoidance. It's building structure even when emotions fluctuate. It's making decisions from alignment and not from chasing after relief or longing. It's creating stability in your own environment. And stability can be emotional, it can be mental, it can be physical, it can be financially, it can be spiritually, it can be one, or it can be all of them. It's taking leadership in your own life and not waiting for your twin flame, not waiting for somebody else to do that for you. Because without these steps, without the action that you need to do, people can feel internal peace, right? Because you've healed a part of you, it's no longer activated within your body. So that gives you a sense of relief, it gives you a sense of peace, but you can remain stuck in the same life patterns because you didn't choose to do things differently in the external reality, which requires you to do nervous system regulation, subconscious reprogramming in order to shift your identity. It asks you to take action in a different way than you had before. And those, every time you take those actions, it creates a new pattern within you, which then creates a new sense of being within you. And that's what's important. It's not always what it is that you do every single day, but it's also what it is that you embody in feminine. So many of you are missing the embodiment piece. And I get it because you haven't ever had anyone show you. So let's talk about regulation versus embodiment because both are important and both are part of our process and part of our journey. Because our nervous system regulation is so important on this journey, and it is helping us get into this place where we can feel calm, we can feel grounded, we're not activated anymore, and you start to feel neutral, right? Because the things that used to activate you in the past may no longer do that. And what used to feel unfamiliar and unsafe is now starting to feel familiar and safe. And nervous system regulation helps support you in so many ways because it's linked to a subconscious mind. And I did a deep teaching of this, and there's more teachings to surface within Rise. So if you're needing support in nervous system regulation and how to utilize this on your path, then I encourage you to join Rise because we'll be doing a lot more over the next couple weeks in there for this. When we look at embodiment, the other aspect is you are choosing differently now. You are in your body and you're choosing differently. It shows up as your life reflects my healing. So, all the healing work, your life reflects that. The decisions that you make, they come from aligned action, they come from this deep knowing within you. It also shows up as I lead myself through discomfort instead of avoiding it, instead of numbing, instead of whatever it is that you do, fill in the blank. Because regulation creates space. It helps you create capacity, capacity to receive more love, capacity to feel more, capacity to expand beyond what it is that you have done in the past. Where embodiment creates transformation. And if you're not creating transformations in your life, it's because you're not embodied. So let's talk about what inner union looks like in real life. And this is where people can really start to help you understand what this looks like. Because like I said, most of you have never had somebody in your reality that's embodying inner union. Because inner union looks like you don't abandon yourself when uncertainty shows up. You still take aligned action even when emotions fluctuate. And this one is a big one for me because when emotions are high, we've been conditioned to believe that you can only take action when you're aligned. But sometimes you have to still take that action, even when your emotions are high or your emotions are low, because you can no longer abandon yourself. You can no longer have sit and wait for the perfect moment. You have to stop outsourcing, or you stop outsourcing direction to the connection or external validation. And you start validating yourself. You start sourcing, you start becoming your own source of validation, your own source of direction, your own source of love, your own source of abundance. I mean, the list literally goes on. And you are building a life that is stable within you and all around you, because you are no longer available for the old patterns that you used to be available for. You're no longer available for a job that sucks the life out of you. You are no longer available for the breadcrumbing, the inconsistency that your twin flame is doing. And you are no longer waiting for internal peace to act. You're not waiting for that perfect moment before you take action. You take action from commitment, from devotion, from your own self leadership. Because in our union, you are no longer living inside emotional cycles. You are living from an embodied leadership, an embodied version of you that knows exactly what it is that you want. And you take the steps necessary, and you're not allowing anything from the past to stop you. So let's talk about one like common like pitfall that I fell for and that I see a lot is when stagnation feels like peace, where like the energy is stagnant within your connection. And this actually becomes one of the most understood or misunderstood states in our journey, where stagnation feels like peace because you're actually not having to make any decisions. You're not having to take any uncomfortable steps of action. And literally, you are just sitting in the same place. So what this also looks like is no emotional intensity. And what I mean by that, you actually lack desire. You actually lack joy and happiness. And there's like this sense of neutrality. There's no moving forward in your own personal journey and life. Like your desires, you put them on the back burner, you stifled them. You are not honoring those. And the avoidance is becoming a deeper part of your journey. And this avoidance is coming from this place of, I don't want to feel the discomfort. Or if I'm seeing this, this must mean that I'm not in alignment. Because let's face it, feminines, there's a lot of false information out there about what things are meant to be, what things feel like, and how you're meant to navigate this path and how you're meant to navigate your spiritual awakening. But also too, when you're feeling like stagnation happening, but you think it's peace, it's also the staying neutral instead of being engaged. Like you don't have an opinion or you're not, you know, speaking your truth. You're simply just being. It's kind of like you're part of the background and not part of what it is that you actually want to participate in. Because when we start seeing these patterns within us, there's an opportunity for us to say, I need to start taking different steps. What actions do I need to start taking in order to cultivate inner union within me? So let's talk about a couple of indicators of real inner union, because real inner union is not about how calm you feel. It's not. It's not about how peaceful everything in life is. It's about how consistently you are living in alignment with yourself, with your truth, with your desires across time. And this means consistency over emotional like states. And what I mean by that is you're showing up consistently for yourself, no matter how it is that you feel. One simple thing, this is what it's coming in my mind's eye to share with all of you is for me right now, how this is showing up is like I love taking care of my skincare, my skin. I love to gua sha. I love to use great skincare products. And one of the things that I've noticed is lately with this full moon energy, and we're going into Mercury retrograde, I'm tired. And at the end of my day, I'm so tired. And the last couple few nights, I've been really inconsistent with my skincare. And it's because I'm tired. And that's where I have to say, and I noticed this morning, I said, I have to do my skincare no matter what, no matter how tired I am or not. In other ways that this shows up is embodiment over insight, along with leadership over reaction. Because inner union isn't this magical place, this destination that you finally say, I've arrived, I'm here. It's a way of relating to yourself, to your choices, and to your life. And most people are closer than they think and still in transition between awareness and embodiment. And I want to give you something to reflect on because I love journaling. I love reflecting on things because it helps me see things clearly in terms of the steps that I need to take and how does this look like? What does it look like for me? And I want to leave you with this one reflection prompt is where am I still understanding myself, but not yet living differently? And then what steps do I need to take to start living differently? And if you're wanting to go more into understanding inner union, how to cultivate inner union within you, I'm doing a huge master class in July. I just can't remember the date in Rise. So every month in Rise, we have a 90-minute masterclass where we dive deep into specific teachings to help support you on your path. And then throughout the month, I upload more teachings and stuff to help support that topic. And so on Thursday, July 23rd at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, I'm doing a deep dive in this and helping support the feminines who are wanting to be in this space to cultivate inner union within yourself. And it doesn't matter where you're at in your journey, understanding this can be like the what's the lighthouse that you need as a so if you're wanting more details about Rise or to join the community, then I encourage you to click on the link in the description because I would love to have you in this space because it's not only just the teachings, but it's a space for other feminines to come together, to be seen, to be held, to be witnessed by others who are walking this path with them. So you never have to feel alone. And I'd love to hear from you down below in the comments what was resonating with you. What is one thing that you're going to take away and start applying to your journey? And as always, my friends, it's an honor to be on this path with you and to share with you what it is that I've learned so you can begin cultivating inner union sooner than I ever have. And I'm just sending you all so much love and light and can't wait to connect with you in the next video. Until next time.